Welcome back traders and investors to the introduction of the Supply and Demand Trading System Futures Market and Cryptocurrencies, Module 1C. In the futures market, the supply of futures contracts is determined by the number of contracts available for trading. In contrast, the demand for futures contracts is determined by the willingness of traders to buy those contracts. When demand for a futures contract is high, its price will increase. When demand is low, its price will decrease. The Nasdaq 100 Futures Index is heavily weighted towards technology companies. The technology sector's performance can significantly impact the index's value. In addition to the technology sector's performance, several other factors can dramatically impact the Nasdaq 100 Futures Index, including the following. 1. Earnings reports. Earnings reports from companies in the Nasdaq 100 Index, particularly major technology companies such as Apple, Amazon, and Microsoft, can significantly impact the index as investors react to the reports. 2. Global events. Global events such as political instability, trade tensions, and natural disasters can impact investor sentiment and influence demand for stocks in the Nasdaq 100 Index, which in turn can impact the futures index. 3. Interest rates. Changes in interest rates, particularly by the Federal Reserve, can impact the demand for stocks in the Nasdaq 100 Index, as higher interest rates can make stocks less attractive relative to other investments, which can, in turn, impact the futures index. 4. Market sentiment. Changes in investor sentiment, such as shifts in risk appetite, can impact demand for stocks in the Nasdaq 100 Index, which can, in turn, affect the futures index. 5. Federal Reserve policies. The Federal Reserve's policies, such as quantitative easing and changes in the discount rate, can impact the supply of money in the economy and influence demand for stocks in the Nasdaq 100 Index, which can, in turn, affect the futures index. Looking at the Nasdaq futures, there have been significant price movements around the supply and demand zones, which could be related to some of the several factors mentioned earlier. The top 3 companies in the Nasdaq index, Apple, AAPL, Amazon, AMZN, and Microsoft, MSFT, have a lot of influence in the direction of the index. The Nasdaq futures June contract had a solid run to the upside since breaking out at the 10,930 and 11,000 demand zone in January 2023. The supply and demand system has proven to be remarkably accurate in predicting crucial levels since its breakout at 10,930 and the 11,000 demand zone, as indicated on the price chart. Its effectiveness has persisted up to the present. Notably, the recent breakout on May 24, 2023, at 13,575 has propelled the index closer to the 14,000 mark. Looking ahead, it is important to monitor the next critical zone, which is expected to be around 14,000 to 14,130. This zone holds significance as it may serve as a key resistance level or a potential area of increased buying interest. Traders and investors should pay close attention to price action within this range as it could offer valuable insights into the future direction of the index. In the cryptocurrency market, the supply of a particular cryptocurrency is fixed by its protocol rules, such as the total number of coins that will ever be created. However, the demand for a cryptocurrency is determined by a combination of factors, such as investor sentiment, media coverage, and its utility as a medium of exchange or store of value. These factors can cause fluctuations in the price of a cryptocurrency, including Bitcoin. When it comes to Bitcoin, the price is primarily driven by supply and demand. Demand increases or decreases in supply can drive the price of Bitcoin up, while drops in demand or increases in supply can drive the price down. However, other factors can impact the demand for Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies. For example, regulatory changes can affect the demand for Bitcoin by banning or restricting cryptocurrency trading in certain countries. Positive or negative media coverage can also impact public perception and demand for Bitcoin. Another critical factor that can impact the demand for Bitcoin is its adoption by major institutions, such as banks and payment companies. The adoption of Bitcoin by major institutions can increase demand and drive up the cryptocurrency's price. Competition from other cryptocurrencies can also affect the demand for Bitcoin, as changes in the market share and demand for these other cryptocurrencies can impact the demand for Bitcoin and affect its price. Identifying supply and demand zones ahead of significant price movements is crucial in trading and investment. The supply and demand system has been a reliable tool for tracking Bitcoin price movements since its early development stage in 2013, when Bitcoin reversed to the upside at 4,100. It not only provides critical levels to watch ahead of price movements, but it also helps identify price formations and patterns that could indicate major changes to the overall direction of an asset. The following events demonstrate how the supply and demand system tracks Bitcoin's past, current and futures direction. In June 2021, the system identified the reversal point to the upside at 28,908, the beginning of a new direction. In October 2021, the system identified the reversal point to the downside at 67,582, the beginning of a major pullback to 15,000. In November 2021, Bitcoin continued downward, pulling back to 54,120 and showing signs of continuation to the downside. In December 2021, Bitcoin continued its downtrend to 48,000, and we set the forecast for Bitcoin to fall to 17,000 based on the supply and demand system and price patterns. In November 2022, Bitcoin reached an estimated target of 17,160. Bitcoin reversed around the 16,670 and 15,410 zone, the beginning of the current uptrend. The daily price chart of May 26, 2023, indicated that Bitcoin price had pulled back from around 30,564 and 29,304 supply zone. Bitcoin could continue to 20,000 if it fails at the 24,673 demand zone. Bitcoin needs to break and hold above 29,304 and 30,564 supply zone to progress to the upside. Overall, the price movements of Bitcoin versus the US dollar around the supply and demand levels can be related to a combination of factors, including investor sentiment, regulatory changes, media coverage, adoption by major institutions, and competition from other cryptocurrencies. As such, investors need to keep an eye on these factors when analyzing the price movements of Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies. The supply and demand system is an essential trading tool that should be part of every trader's toolbox. With a proven track record of accurately identifying crucial levels and highlighting upcoming critical zones, this system empowers traders with a potential competitive edge in their decision-making process. Our final introduction module will explore how the supply and demand system applies to commodities and ETFs. By understanding supply and demand dynamics in these markets, traders can gain valuable insights into price movements and uncover profitable trading opportunities.